What if I told you that most people try to improve their lives by adding more habits, more hacks, more gear, when the fastest way to become clear, calm, and effective is subtraction? Not because you're missing some magic tool, but because you're carrying too much noise. We add until we drown and then call it ambition. We mask exhaustion with new routines and wonder why nothing sticks. The ancient Stoics would shake their heads and point to the simplest truth. A blade doesn't get sharper by piling metal on top. It gets sharper by removing what doesn't belong. Your mind is the same. This week is not about stacking yet another system onto a crowded shelf. It's about taking 10 things off your back so the strength you already have can breathe. If you've been searching for focus and only finding fatigue, if you've been chasing motivation and only catching guilt, this is your invitation to subtract your way back to power. Before we begin, make a tiny public move that proves you're serious. Subscribe to the channel right now and hit like so this message reaches people who are suffocating under extras. And drop a comment as we go. Does this happen to you, where you try to improve by adding and end up heavier? Do you know someone who did this and stalled? Tag that person. Your comment is not decoration, it's a line in the sand. This week I subtract. We start with the most obvious thief that pretends to be a friend: noisy inputs. Remove, not forever but for 7 days, the default right to interrupt you. Your phone, your watch, your laptop, the tabs that beg for your eyes, the pings that promise importance and deliver adrenaline. You are not obligated to let every app send a flare into your nervous system. Silence notifications for everything except actual emergencies. Put your phone in another room for the first 45 minutes of morning and the last 45 minutes of night. Switch the screen to grayscale if you must. Open feeds only after you've opened your day. Marcus Aurelius wrote his own mind into order at dawn. He did not let Rome's gossip write it for him. When you remove the constant reach into your pocket, you remove the invisible hand that keeps stealing your next thought. In the distance left behind, focus grows like a muscle long deprived of oxygen. The second thing to remove is a weight you've gotten so used to that you call it your personality. Toxic labels. I'm just lazy. I'm a procrastinator. I'm scattered. I'm not a morning person. These are not data. These are cages. For 7 days, subtract the label and replace it with an observation and a choice. Instead of, I'm lazy, say, I've been avoiding this task. I will touch it for 10 minutes. Instead of, I'm not a morning person, say, my first hour decides my day. I will protect it like a meeting. Epictetus warned that we are disturbed not by events but by the opinions we take about them. Toxic labels are opinions dressed as identities. Remove them and your options multiply in front of you, like doors you forgot you had the keys to. Third, remove leaky yeses, the small, polite agreements that quietly bankrupt your time and flatten your energy. You do not need to explain your boundaries in essays. You need to state them in one clean line and stand there with respect. For 7 days, practice the sentence, "That doesn't work for me," followed by one honest alternative if you want to offer it. Watch what happens to your calendar when you stop paying interest on other people's urgency. Justice for a Stoic includes justice to the self, the fair allocation of your limited hours. If you keep donating your prime energy to last-minute requests, of course you arrive empty to the work you say matters. Remove 3 leaky yeses this week and you'll feel a surplus where there was only apology before. Fourth, remove comparison loops. You don't need help here. You know exactly where you go to feel smaller. The page that always makes you doubt your progress. The colleague whose highlight reel lodges inside your ribs. The friend whose new milestones trigger a version of you that loves drama more than discipline. Mute, unfollow, hide, pause, block. Whatever word your platform uses to subtract temptation. Marcus would call this justice to your attention. Courage is showing up to your work. Temperance is refusing the sugar rush of envy. Wisdom is asking, is this making me useful or is this making me noisy? Remove the loops and your nervous system unclenches. In the space left behind, you can turn your face back to the work that would actually change your life. Fifth, remove perfectionism. Not your standards, not your taste, but the superstition that finished must equal flawless. Flawless is a rumor told by people who don't ship. For 7 days, ship at 80% when the work is honest, safe, and useful. Then schedule version 2. This is not a lowering of excellence, it is a removal of vanity. The Stoic builder honors reality over fantasy. Reality rewards delivered value. Fantasy rewards imagined applause. You want a life that pays you in proof. Remove the delay that hides under the costume of "I'm not ready," and you'll discover the joy that comes from iteration. Clean, boring, powerful iteration, done by someone who would rather improve in public than dream in private. Sixth, remove decision clutter. Your day dies one micro-decision at a time. What to wear, when to start, where to sit, which app to open first, coffee now or later, deep work or shallow comfort. You are not failing, you are bleeding willpower through paper cuts. Subtract choice where choice adds nothing. Lay out what you'll wear at night. Decide the first task before you sleep. Eat the same breakfast on work days. Keep a single playlist for deep work so your brain recognizes the door and walks through it without asking questions. Seneca practiced poverty to prove comfort optional. You practice simplicity to prove chaos optional. Every decision you remove returns attention to the moves that deserve it. Seventh, remove research that is actually hiding. For 7 days, every time you feel the itch to read one more article, watch one more tutorial, ask one more forum, ask yourself, what is the smallest experiment I can run in the next 30 minutes? Do that instead. The person who learns fastest is the person who touches reality sooner. The Stoic doesn't worship certainty. The Stoic respects sufficiency, enough information to take the next right step. Remove the comfort of preparing for a life you never actually live. You will not drown. You will learn, and your learning will weigh more than your notes. Eighth, remove friction around sleep. We romanticize struggle and then wonder why our mornings limp. Remove late caffeine, heavy screens, bright light, and the habit of pleading with your pillow while your phone glows inches from your face. Cooling the room, dimming the lights, showering warm, then finishing cool, and putting your phone beyond arm's reach are not biohacks. They are respect for biology. Memento mori is not only a meditation on death, it's a meditation on finite days. You get fewer of them than you think. Do not spend them dulled by a choice you can subtract in 15 minutes each evening. Sleep is not laziness. In the physics of performance, sleep is rehearsal. Ninth, remove the food and drink that hijack your mood and concentration. This is not a diet sermon. This is Stoic ownership of inputs. Remove the weeknight alcohol, the second dessert, the mindless snacking that calls itself a break and steals the next hour. You know your culprits, subtract them for 7 days, and watch your baseline calm rise like a tide that quietly lifts every decision. Temperance is not punishment. It is the art of choosing enough. If you want your mind to be clear, stop fogging it on purpose. 10th, remove the mess from the 2 tables that define your days, your desk and your dining table. The desk is where you make your future. The table is where you fuel your present. If both are covered with yesterday, your brain negotiates with clutter before it can even begin. Subtract every item that doesn't serve the next block of work or the next meal. Put a tray on the desk with only what you need. Put a bowl on the table only for keys, not chaos. The Stoic doesn't worship minimalism. The Stoic understands that form guides function. A clear surface is a quiet invitation to begin. If you felt a breath open in your chest while you imagined 7 days without these weights, pause here and seal it with action. Subscribe right now and hit like so videos about subtraction rise above the noise that tries to sell you more, and respond in the comments with precision. Does this happen to you with notifications, comparisons, perfectionism? Do you know someone who always says, just one more piece of research, and never starts? Tag that person. Also write the item you'll remove first. The act of naming it publicly is a small proof. Subtraction has started. You might be tempted to ask, will removing 10 things in 1 week overwhelm me? Not if you do it the Stoic way, by building a subtraction circuit around your day rather than a single heroic purge. One circuit is morning, one is midday, one is evening. In the morning, you remove inputs and decision clutter. Phone away, first task chosen, desk clear, same breakfast, one song to open deep work, 10 minutes of stillness before the world touches you. Midday, you remove comparison and research hiding. Unfollow, mute, close the tabs. Run one experiment instead of reading about 5. Evening, you remove late chaos and prep the next mission. Dim the lights. 2-minute ledger. 3 outcomes for tomorrow. Tools in place. Phone asleep outside. Body cooled. Gratitude named. Repeat the circuit 6 times and write 1 line each day about the hardest removal and the easiest. Identity likes patterns. Patterns like circuits. Circuits like clocks. Clocks like promises. Promises like proof. Proof becomes pride. Pride becomes momentum. Momentum makes subtraction feel like freedom, not loss. Let's walk the 10 removals through 3 arenas where people bleed most. Work, relationships, and health, so you can see subtraction in contact with reality. At work, remove the habit of opening your inbox before you open your mission. This alone can change your career. Your inbox is a list of other people's priorities. Your mission is the precise expression of your skill in service of something you value. Subtract an hour of email in the morning and you add a body of work in a year. Remove meetings without agendas. Remove status updates that could be a paragraph. Remove the document bloat that makes a 90-minute decision last 9 days. When you strip ceremony and chase usefulness, your team may think you're cold. You are not. You're clear. Clarity is kindness to everyone's time. In relationships, remove mind reading. It feels like care. It's actually control. Subtract the stories you write about what they meant and ask them what they meant. Subtract the sarcastic jab that makes you feel clever and leaves a bruise. Subtract the late-night scrolling next to someone who thought they were getting you, not your timeline. Replace with 1 sentence that matters, 1 walk, 1 look that says, "I'm here, not half here." Remove people-pleasing that says yes to avoid conflict and says no to your own values. The Stoic doesn't become a statue. The Stoic becomes a steady person whose yes means yes and whose no means no. Every subtraction of pretense makes your connections heavier in the hand, like a rope you can actually pull on together. In health, remove the story that fitness requires a glorious hour that you never have. Subtract the all-or-nothing thinking and install 10 minutes after breakfast, 10 after lunch, 10 after dinner. Subtract the second drink that ruins the morning. Subtract the late-night snack that ruins sleep. Subtract the tomorrow that hides laziness in a tuxedo and instead do 1 set now. Courage is not complex in the arena of the body. It is consistency delivered against boredom. When you remove the fantasy that today must be extraordinary, you make room for a string of ordinary days that quietly produce an extraordinary baseline. A word on the fear that subtraction will leave you empty. It will, but only at first. The space that appears when you remove an addiction to noise feels like loss because you can finally hear your thoughts. That's not emptiness, that's presence. In that presence, the work that matters has room to step forward. In that presence, the love that's been trying to reach you for months can finally sit down next to you. In that presence, you stop negotiating with 1,000 small demons and start negotiating with the single big calling that requires your whole heart. Do not flee the space. The space is where the signal lives. You will slip. You will keep a notification you should have killed. You will pour the second glass and wake foggy. You will justify a yes you didn't want to give. The Stoic does not convert slips into identity. The Stoic converts slips into repairs. 1 sentence to the person you overpromised. I spoke too quickly. I have to withdraw. 1 sentence to yourself at night. I broke my rule at 9:20 p.m. Tomorrow the phone sleeps in the kitchen. 1 small amends if your slip hurts someone. Then silence. Shame is noise. Repair is quiet. The world is loud enough. Choose repair. You may wonder what to do with the time and attention you free. The worst answer is to refill it with the same. The best answer is to place a small daily craft in the center, something that pays you in practice now and optionally pays you in money later. Write 200 words, draw 1 sketch, practice 15 minutes of scales, learn 1 paragraph of a language, build 1 piece of a business, help 1 person with your skill. The Stoic loves the craft because craft is a path where virtue walks. Courage to begin, temperance to repeat, justice to deliver, wisdom to improve. When your day has a craft at its center, subtraction stops feeling like deprivation and starts feeling like consecration. You are not giving things up. You are giving yourself room to become someone. Now take a breath and turn your agreement into public friction. Subscribe and hit like so this subtraction message is not buried under addition propaganda. And comment with precision. Does this happen to you when you try to say no? Do you know someone who needs to remove comparison? Tag them and write which item will leave your week starting today. If you already removed one thing since we started, write, I removed rerow, and name it. It matters to no one and everyone. It matters to you because you saw your hand move. Let's craft a 7-day plan so you don't drown in enthusiasm. Day 1. Kill notifications except emergency contacts. Put the phone in another room for your first 45 minutes. Clear your desk to a tray with only what you need. Write 3 outcomes for tomorrow before bed. Day 2. Remove one leaky yes by sending a single sentence. Mute the 3 accounts that most trigger comparison. Eat the same breakfast. Schedule your 10-10-10 movement after meals. Day 3. Ship an 80% draft and schedule version 2. Remove the late caffeine. Do the ledger at night with 1 line of amor fati about something that annoyed you. Day 4. Remove the research rabbit hole by running one 30-minute test. Put your phone to sleep outside the bedroom. Set the room cooler. Choose the song that opens deep work and use only that. Day 5. Remove a meeting and replace it with a written decision. Remove one sarcastic habit. Take a walk with someone you love without the phone. Write the first line of tomorrow's hardest task on a sticky note and put it on your keyboard. Day 6. Remove the second drink. Remove the last hour screen. Add a book to your hands instead. Prepare your morning shoes and bottle like you respect tomorrow. Day 7. Review what subtractions printed results and choose the 3 you'll keep for a month. Celebrate with something that doesn't erase your progress. A long bath, a slow meal, a nap, a call to someone you thank. As the week passes, notice the shape of your evenings shifting, the weight of your mornings lightening, the buzz in your chest replaced by a hum you can work to. Do not rush to fill the quiet. Let quiet teach you what you had forgotten, that you already know how to move, that you already know what matters, that you already carry enough strength to do the next small right thing. The entire point of Stoic subtraction is to remove everything that keeps you from acting on what you already know. You will meet resistance, both inside and out. Someone will complain that you're less available. Tell them the truth. You are protecting your ability to deliver. Someone will mock your phone sleeping in another room. Tell them the truth. You sleep like someone whose tomorrow matters. Someone will accuse you of being boring. Tell them nothing and let your results speak. You are not a preacher. You are a practitioner. Practitioners rarely need applause. They need room. Picture your life 3 weeks from now if you keep only 3 of these removals. No constant pings. No late-night chaos. No leaky yeses. The calendar looks different. The mornings feel different. The work advances like a tide that doesn't ask permission. The relationships deepen because you brought your whole face to them. The body steadies because you fed it peace. The voice in your mind that used to shout is quieter because you stopped pouring sugar into its mouth. This isn't a fantasy. It's a math problem with steps you can show. Subtract 10 and you add one thing back: yourself. As we close, we don't slam the door. We dim the lights on purpose. If you found value here, subscribe, and like so, more people can learn to cut away the rope that's been wrapped around their lungs for a decade. Write in the comments right now. Does this happen to you? Which item will you remove today? Do you know someone who did this and stalled? Tag them and invite them to 7 days of subtraction. Leave a sentence your future eyes will find when you're tempted to re-add the weight you just put down. Write, I removed liar for 7 days, or phone sleeps in the kitchen, or no leaky yeses this week, or simply, I subtract to be myself. Remember what the Stoics taught without a smartphone in sight. That peace is not found in piling on, but in peeling back. That strength is not noise, but clarity. That a life is not built in a frenzy of additions, but in the slow, steady subtraction of everything that keeps you from doing the next right thing. This week is yours to prove it. Remove, not to be empty, but to be exact. Remove, not to be harsh, but to be honest. Remove, not to impress, but to act. Then sleep like a person who trusts themselves and wake like a person who knows exactly where to place their hands.